Okay, everyone, welcome to today's presentation. I'm Dominic Martino, the Pension Benefits Manager at TBIS, and welcome to the IBEW Local 353 Pension and Benefits webinar. Before we start the presentation, just a reminder to everyone that all the information that's contained in this presentation are based on today's plan rules. So plan rules can change. All plan rules are communicated out by the newsletters, various forms of communication. But anything that's discussed today in today's presentation will be based on the current plan rules. Here's a brief agenda on some of the items that we'll talk about today. We'll touch upon TBIS, the pension plan, the benefits plans, and some other benefits that are out there for the members of the IBEW Local 353, such as the Teledoc and Members Assistance Program. So here at TBIS, we act on behalf of the Board of Trustees to effectively and efficiently administer the IBEW Local 353 trust funds and strive to be a trusted source of information services for our stakeholders. Our vision is to be an efficient and effective pension and benefits administration service within the multi-employer construction sector. And we're here to help service you, the members of the IBEW Local 353, and your family. So here are our values. We focus on the members and their families. We're here to be efficient and transparent and to be held accountable to you folks on this call. So here at TBIS, there's many ways to reach us, many ways to get a hold of us when you need assistance with anything to do with your pension and benefits, any other concerns you may have. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here. If there's a way that we can help direct you to, finding the answers or getting the support or services you need, we'll do our best to try to guide you to the various resources. Here you can reach us at 416-637-6789 from Monday to Friday. We're generally here from 7:30 to 4:30. But as always, you can email us as well as members@tbis.com. Or you can access a variety of information on our website. So we have a tbis.com website, and that's the actual organization general website, but you can still access the benefit booklet, pension booklet, change forms, our newsletters. That type of information is all posted there on tbis.com. But also there's another website, mytbis.com. So mytbis.com is your own personal information site. So you would go to mytbis.com, you would register, and then you can log in and you would see your own personal information, which includes, details about your pension, who's your beneficiaries on the various plans that we have, address, things like that. And there's a variety of different sources on there, including videos that you can watch and access to other service providers' information as well. And we'll touch upon that a little bit in today's presentation as well. So in Canada, to start off talking about saving for retirement, in Canada, we have something called 3 pillars of retirement. And what this means is, where does the income come from when you're retiring? So number one, there's generally government-based programs such as the Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security. And there's also, a variety of other government programs out there. Then you have a group retirement savings plan. And this can include your, personal RSPs, you have your tax-free savings account, personal savings, property, and other investments that you may have. And then the third pillar is known as employment-based programs. And in this particular case, you have your IBEW Local 353 pension. Now, I'd like to show a brief video that provides an oversight and a little insight into the IBEW Local 353 pension.
I'm an electrician, not an investment banker, and I never really understood how our pension plan works. But I get it now, and I want to help you get it too. You might be surprised to learn that your pension plan can become one of the most valuable assets you will ever have, and it's for life. It grows with contributions made by each hour you work for an IBEW Local 353 contractor until you retire. Then it pays off for the rest of your life. Your employer contributes for every hour worked based on the rate in your collective agreement. The more hours you work, the bigger your pension gets. Everyone in the union contributes to the same big pot, and the money gets invested by professional investment managers in stocks, bonds, that sort of thing. Our plan is what's called a multi-employer pension plan, or target benefit plan. Every year you get a statement telling you how much you can expect to receive in retirement. That number is the target. Of course, it's possible your pension payments could end up being higher or lower than the target. Plan performance can't be guaranteed, but the plan hasn't paid out less than the target in all of the years it's been run. Remember, when you're ready to retire, your pension plan will be there to help you live a more comfortable life. And the more hours you work, the more your employer contributes, the bigger your pension is going to be. Your buddy or spouse may have a pension plan that works differently than ours, so it's worth learning about your pension plan. Visit mytbis.com today to learn more about your pension plan.
So that was a brief video about the IBEW Local 353 pension plan. So how the pension plan works is that based on your collective agreement, your employer is remitting contributions to us, to TBIS, for every hour you work. You take those contributions for the year and you times it by a factor, which is currently 1.20. So for example, if you have a $10,000 contribution, you times by that by the factor of 1.20, you would have earned a pension of $120 per month. And that is cumulative over the years as you work. Every year you work, the more contributions that come in, the greater your pension grows. What's key here is that your pension is managed by a group of professionals that are overseen by the board of trustees of the IBEW Local 353. So that includes actuaries, there's a legal team, there's different investment firms. And the goal is to obviously provide you with a pension income at retirement that continues for your life. And in the event that you have a spouse when you retire, pension would also continue to your spouse. Okay. And the more you work, and the longer you're in the union and working for an IBEW Local 353 contractor, the greater your pension will be at the time of retirement. Now, at the time of when you do retire, there's a variety of things that could impact what your pension amount would be, such as what's your age at the time of retirement, your spouse's age at retirement, how long you worked for, what's that pension factor, which is right now, as I said, 1.20. And also what option do you pick at that time when you retire? So all these things come into play. But what's important to note is that for every hour you work, based on your collective agreement, your employer is submitting contributions that are coming directly to TBIS, and that pension money is managed by a group of investment managers overseen by the Board of Trustees of the IBEW Local 353. If you have a spouse when you retire, that spouse is automatically eligible for your pension. So it's important that in this situation that you do keep TBIS up to date. If you have a spouse, if you have a common law, these are things that impact your pension. If you get separated, if you divorce at a later time, or if your spouse passes away and you remarry, these are all pieces of information that you should notify TBIS about. Now, things like this, just as an example, not just for your spouse, but even in the event that you have a child, you want to update your beneficiaries. This is just to give you an idea that as you go through your career through the IBEW Local 353 and you have different life events, such as you get married, you have the birth of your child, you retire, these are all things that you want to notify a TBIS up and keep us up to date on your situation and your status. Okay. In the event that you were to leave the IBEW Local 353, there is the option to transfer the pension plan, but there are rules that come with that, mainly being that you have to have no pension contributions within a 24-month period, and you have to be under the age of 55. Okay, so if you leave the IBEW Local 353 union and you do not plan on returning, or you don't want to leave the retirement income or the pension plan money with the IBEW Local 353, you would have the option of transferring it out to another financial institution or another pension plan. But again, the monies would be locked in, and you would only have the option to transfer it out if you have no contributions over a 24-month period and you're still under the age of 55 at that time. Okay. Now, I did briefly touch upon the life events. So again, the examples here. So if you want to update your beneficiary, you have a change in family status, if there's a, if you have a birth of a child, you get divorced. These are all things that you want to notify us about. Now, to make these changes, there's forms available on our website, tbis.com or mytbis. But again, it's important that as you progress during your career and different things happen, life events happen, that you do keep your information up to date with us. Okay, even a simple thing of moving from one place to another, that's important so that we can continue to send you information that's personal information to you. Okay. So what you're seeing here now on the screen is what we refer to as a quarterly contribution statement. And what this is, it reflects, for every month you work for the employer that you're with, the hours you worked, along with contributions being made to the various funds that are available through us here. So, in this person's example here, they're working at an employer Black and McDonald. And as you go from the left to the right of the screen, you'll see that, the various months they worked. Example, they have January, they worked 105 hours. And then those 105 hours came with various contributions to the benefit, pension, RSPs, and subamount. Now, the rate of contributions are all outlined in your collective agreement, depending on your job level and your classification. But it's important that you monitor your contribution statement because one, you want to make sure that your employer is reporting the right hours for you. So basically, you would compare it to your pay stub, right? And you want to make sure that your employer is making the contributions to the various funds. Okay. If there's times when contributions are not being made or if they're incorrect, you would check with your employer first. And if there still remains a discrepancy, then you can contact us at TBIS. Now, this contribution statement is mailed to you, and at the same time, it is posted on mytbis.com and it's available quarterly. Okay, so this is why why you should create a MyTBIS account at the end of this presentation if you haven't done so already. Here's another important document is your annual pension statement. So this is provided annually to all members of the IBEW Local 353. It's also posted on your profile on mytbis.com, and it's provided once a year, generally in May, June of every year, to reflect pension contributions that were made in the previous year, as well as the cumulative value of your pension. So in this particular person's case, you can see they've had, contributions of up to $11,000 up to December 2022. But you see that during 2022, they had contributions of about $6,200 put in a plan. And then as you go towards the bottom of the page, you'll see what this person has earned up until the end of 2022, along with the contributions that were made in 2022 and what they had at the end of the year of 2021. Okay, so it's showing them the cumulative buildup of their pension. At the same time, the annual pension statement would reflect, who's your beneficiary, if you have a spouse, your contribution levels, what your pension is earned at that point, and all this information would be reflected on here. Okay, and again, this is mailed out annually to the members, and as well as it's available on mytbis.com. Okay. In the event that you would like to start your pension, you can start your pension as early as age 55. If you started as early as age 55, your pension would be reduced because you are taking it earlier. You would be able to continue to work, except if you continue working and you're collecting your IBEW 353 pension, your pension will not increase. Any contributions that are made to the pension, because it will continue to be made based on your collective agreement, those contributions are redirected to the health and welfare fund. But again, you can start your pension as early as age 55, but it would be reduced. If you qualify at the time, our current plan rules allow for members to retire as early as age 61 with an unreduced pension, but you have to qualify for the unreduced pension at age 61. And in order to do so, you have to have a pension contribution made within a 24-month period prior to the age of 61. Okay. The normal retirement age is age 65, but at the same time, the maximum age that you can continue to contribute to the pension is age 71. Okay, and that's by law that the year that you turn 71 is when you have to start collecting your IBEW Local 353 pension. When you're ready to retire, you would let us know. You can continue to work, except as I stated, that you would not be able to continue to grow pension amounts if you were continuing to work and you're collecting your 353 pension. And then when you start your 353 pension, if you're eligible, you would also be able to join the IBEW Local 353 Retiree Benefits Plan. So that portion is pertaining to the IBEW Local 353 pension plan. And as I noted earlier on, is that your pension plan is payable for your life if you start your pension, if you're eligible at the time that you wish to start collecting. Your contributions are made based on your collective agreement and your job classification. The contributions that are remitted are managed by a group of investment managers that are overseen by the board of trustees. So it's important to note that your pension is monitored. It's you don't need to do anything other than making sure that you keep your information up to date with us and your beneficiaries up to date on your pension. Alternatively, you also have and you will participate in the IBEW Local 353 Group Retirement Savings Program, the IBEW 353 RRSP. Your RSP is separate and apart from your pension plan. Again, contributions are being remitted to the RSP by your employer based on your collective agreement, and the contribution rate could be up to 3% for every hour you work. And again, those contributions are being sent to TBIS, and then we would redirect those contributions to Canada Life, where the IBEW Local 353 Group Retirement Service Plan RSP is located or held. The difference between the pension plan, which is managed by a group of investment managers overseen by the board of trustees, the RRSP is self-directed, meaning that you, the member, you select your investments, you manage the investment options that are available there to you. How do you do that? You create your Canada Life profile. Once you log into your Canada Life profile, not only will you be able to see your RSPs on there, but we'll touch upon it in a few minutes. You'll also be able to access your benefit plan information. So do create your RSP account, or your Canada Life account, I should say, in order to access your RSP information. And once you're on there, you'll also be able to see the various investment options that are there. You can also contact Canada Life if you'd like some assistance and guidance on the various options that are available to you. You can contact them during the week, Monday to Friday, at the phone number reflected on the screen here at 1-800-724 3402. Just let them know that you're a member of the IBEW Local 353, and then they can review your profile with you. Okay. So remember that the RRSP is self-directed. You, the member, are responsible for the various investment options and managing those selections of the investments that you picked. And to review that, again, you can log in and create your profile at Canada Life. Now we move into the IBEW Local 353 benefit plan. Now, in order to become a member of the benefit plan, you need to work 450 hours within a 6-month time period. Once you work the 450 hours and you're approved, you would join the IBEW Local 353 benefit plan. How our benefit plan works is that for every hour you work, your employer is remitting contributions to the IBEW Local 353 Health and Welfare Benefit Plan. But at the same time, you need to have 135 hours each month in order to maintain your benefit coverage. So if you work 135 hours, then we would deduct 135 hours each month to keep your benefits. If you work more than 135 hours, so let's say in 1 month you work 150 hours, we would deduct 135 hours to keep you in benefits, and the remaining 15 hours you would bank. Okay, and what we call a banked hours. And the banked hours, you can accumulate up to 4,860 hours maximum, which generally translates into 3 years worth of benefits. Now, in times when you're not working 135 hours, but you're in the benefit plan. So, for example, let's say 1 month you have no banked hours and you only work 120 hours, then you're short the 15 hours. But because you're working and you have contributions coming in, the union will subsidize you for the difference at that time. So you'll still remain covered in benefits. Okay. So as long as you're working, your benefits remain in force. And as long if you work more than 135 hours each month, the difference of the hours over and above 135 will be banked, where you can bank up to a maximum of 4,860 hours. Okay. Now, what's important is maintaining your benefit coverage. And this is where it's extremely important to note that anytime you're going to be absent from work due to an illness, let's say you're away from work for more than 7 days, you have an injury at work, and you can't go to work, or you're hospitalized, or even if you get laid off, you need to notify the IBEW Local 353 Union Hall Dispatch by contacting the Union Hall and in letting dispatch know your status. So, in the event of a layoff, in the event that you become disabled, you become ill, that you're unable to go to work, it's important that you notify the Union Hall Dispatch so that they can indicate in your records that you're on a leave, be it a disability leave or being an out of work leave, because once you no longer have any benefit hours, you even if you have no benefit hours, you can maintain your benefit coverage as long as you're on the out of work list or you're on an approved disability or a leave. But in order to do so, you need to let the Union Hall Dispatch Department know that because of certain circumstances, you're unable to work. Okay. And at the same time, you would let the Union Hall notify, you would notify the Union Hall because there are other benefits that come into play, which we'll touch upon those in the next few screens. Okay. At any time, if you were to fall out of benefits, so you don't have no hours, or if you're just not working, or if you leave the union for a while, if you're gone for out of the benefits plan for less than 12 months, then you would need to rebuild your banked hours of up to 300 hours within 6 consecutive months to rejoin the plan. So basically, you need to work 300 hours within 6 months to rejoin the benefit plan. But if you fall out of benefits and it's more than 12 months have gone by and you decide to rejoin the union, then you need to work again 450 hours within 6 months to rejoin the benefit plan. Okay. So a couple of things that I want to point out here is that our benefit plan is self-insured. What this means is that, again, every hour that you work, your employer is remitting contributions to the health and welfare benefit plan. But you, the member, when you make a claim, for example, eyeglasses, and let's say the glasses cost $750, that $750 is taken from that pot that everyone on this call or in this session has contributed to, and that money is used to pay for the claim. And at the same time, there are some administration fees and claim fees that we need to pay our insurance carrier, Canada Life, for reviewing the claim and issuing payment to you. So again, just to be mindful that all claims that are submitted are paid by the members and the money that's contributed into the benefit plan. So it's important that when you are out there looking for, glasses or orthotics, things like that, be mindful of the cost because at the end of the day, we all are picking up the tabs on these claims that are being submitted to the benefit plan. Yeah. One thing that everyone should be aware of and that we're all very extremely proud of is that the IBEW Local 353 benefit plan offers the highest relative value within benefits compared to 11 other building trade, construction trade benefit programs. So our plan is very generous in comparison to similar benefit plans for other trades. So it's very important that the benefit plan, you're aware of the benefits that are in there, that what's available to you. It is a top benefit plan in comparison to other benefit plans out there within the same trade industry. To read about this report that reviewed the various benefit plans, do log into the MyTBIS website, and you can take a look at the report posted on there along with reviewing the benefit booklets. Our benefit plan is very comprehensive, but we don't cover everything. And here's a list of a few items that we don't cover, such as, cough medication, cough suppressant medication, contact lens care products, cold remedies, things like these are generally not covered, or if something's not eligible under the Canada Income Tax Act. Now, the list is exhaustive. There's a lot of things that the plan does cover. There are a number of things that the benefit plan doesn't cover. If you're not sure, you can always check with your pharmacist or contact TBIS or Canada Life, and we can confirm for you or review. And at the same time, do take a look at the IBEW 353 benefit booklet as well. A couple of key things to remember on our benefit plan is that we do not have a deductible. Our plan follows something called reasonable and customary rates. What that means is that depending on the product or the service you're receiving, Canada Life has worked with the various regulating bodies and governing bodies of the various providers and services to determine what is a reasonable cost for something. So we will use the example of massage therapy, registered massage therapy. It's been determined that the reasonable amount is $120. So if you go for a massage, generally most of the practitioners will follow reasonable customary rates. But again, because these individuals are private businesses, they can charge above that. But if you go to the provider and their reasonable rate and they charge you $120, then Canada Life will reimburse you the reasonable rate of $120. Not to say that you can go somewhere else. So if you go for a registered massage therapy and that cost is $150, our plan will only reimburse you up to $120. To review the various customary rates, you can log into your Canada Life profile. A number of the rates for service providers are posted on the Canada Life website. Generally, if you're looking for coverage for certain products, how much does a particular brace will be reimbursed, like a wrist brace, a knee brace. These are things that you may need to submit an estimate to Canada Life, or if you contact us or Canada Life, there are times when we can provide you this information. Okay. Now, the benefit plan overall is pretty comprehensive. We have ambulance service coverage. We cover like sleep apnea devices. There's coverage for the orthopedic orthotics, $500 every 12 months. There's semi-private coverage available, and there's prescription drug coverage as well. To do the prescription drug, you will be provided with a drug card, but at the same time, uh, when you're creating your profile in Canada Life and you log in, afterwards you can download the Canada Life phone app onto your phone, onto your smartphone. And once you log into that app, you can download the digital version of your drug card. Okay. So slowly, as the organizations move away from a plastic drug card, it is a good idea to download the digital version of your drug card and save it onto your iPhone or your smartphone. In this way, that in the event that you go to a different pharmacy or a different service providers, that you can just show them the drug card off your phone. Okay. Now, the drug card allows you to pick up prescription drugs at the pharmacy without having to pay out of pocket, right at the cash. Generally, the benefits, the drug plan is covered up to 100% for drugs, but again, it's reasonable customary rates. And we do cover the dispensing fee up to $8. Now, the dispensing fee may not cover the full dispensing fee depending on the pharmacy you go to. Some pharmacies charge up to $13 for the dispensing fee. You will only be reimbursed up to $8. So do shop around. If you're looking for a lower dispensing rate, there are pharmacies that do charge less than $8 for prescription drugs. Dispensing fees on that. If there's any time where you require a specialty drug, the pharmacist or your doctor will notify you, and then you'll get referred to an organization called Facet that would review forms that your doctor would need to fill out to determine if you would be eligible for these specialty drugs. Okay. So as we dive into a couple of other services that are available, so members have access to paramedical services. What this means is that you get $2,500 per calendar year, which you can use amongst all these different service providers. So you can break up that $2,500 for, between a chiropractor, registered massage therapist, dietitian, as long as the total amount does not exceed $2,500. Okay. In addition, there we also have the mental health benefit of $3,000 per calendar year, and you can use this $3,000 amongst these various providers. Okay, psychologist, psychotherapist, social worker. One thing just to be clear to everyone on the presentation is that these amounts that are being reflected um, don't just pertain to the member, they also pertain to your spouse and to each of your children. So what that means is that, for instance, we're looking at the mental health benefit right now, that you, the member, have access to $3,000, and you would be able to use $3,000 amongst all these providers, these service practitioners. But also your spouse would have their own $3,000 bucket, and your children each would have their own. And the same applies to each benefit. So here we have coverage for eyeglasses of up to $750. Again, that 750 would be for yourself. Your spouse would have their own 750, and each of your children would have their own 750 coverage as well. Okay. We provide coverage of one eye exam every 24 months. The benefit plan also provides laser eye coverage and coverage for hearing aids. Some of these benefits, it would be a good idea to have your doctor, paramedical provider submit a predetermination to Canada Life. So what that means is, say, for instance, you were going to do laser eye surgery. As you can see, we cover up to $3,000 per eye per lifetime for the lifetime. But some practitioners, once laser eye surgery providers may charge over and above that per each eye. So you would want them to give you an estimate what the cost would be, and you could submit that estimate to Canada Life, and they would validate for you how much they would cover. So it's important that if you're getting any expensive procedures done, any dental claims that are, over and above $200, you could get the service provider, your dental practitioner, to submit an estimate to Canada Life to confirm, how much you would actually be covered for, and if there's potentially any portion of the claim that you would have to pay for out of pocket. Okay. Our dental plan is very comprehensive. We do have full coverage. The major service is covered up to 75%, but general cleanings and fillings, things like that, would be at 100%. But again, your dental provider can reach out to Canada Life directly. They can submit an estimate to Canada Life. A little more details is provided in the benefit booklet, again, which is posted on both tbis.com and mytbis.com. Okay. As stated earlier, when you're unsure of what you would be covered for, please do submit an estimate or predetermination to Canada Life. But also, you can call Canada Life directly at this IBEW dedicated line. So this is an IBEW 353 dedicated phone line at Canada Life, that's specifically for members of the IBEW 353. So do take a moment and record this phone number into your phone, and note that it's a Canada Life IBEW line at 1-844-232-4239. Again, that's a dedicated line for IBEW members to call at Canada Life. Okay. If you have a spouse, and your spouse has benefits through their employer, this is where we call something called coordinating the benefit between you and your spouse. So here, this is another example why you would want to notify TBIS if you have a spouse, as well as if your spouse has benefits. Generally, what coordination means is that, let's say if you have a claim, the goal is to get 100% reimbursed. What you would do, the member, if you have a claim for yourself, you would submit the claim to our plan, to TBIS, IBEW 353 Canada Life's plan first. And if the claim isn't paid in full, then you would submit the remaining portion of the claim and the related invoices to your spouse's plan. As long as you're on your spouse's plan, then you can submit it there, and then they would determine to see if you would get the max back. Same thing for your spouse. If your spouse has a claim, your spouse should submit the claim to their benefit plan first. And if there's any portion that remains unpaid, then they could submit the claim to our plan. Again, it's important that when you have children, that you notify TBIS and your spouse's plan that you've had children, because same thing applies there. Your children, depending on whose birthday falls first, which parent's birthday falls first in the year, then that parent would get the claim submitted to their benefit plan program first. And then if there's anything remaining unpaid, you would submit it to the spouse's plan. Okay. Again, this is why it's important that you keep TBIS up to date on your spouse and dependents as well, and children, etc. Okay. We also have travel insurance. Again, this information is available on tbis.com. When you log into your profile at My TBIS, you can download a drug card and the travel booklet. Do take a time to review that. The travel insurance benefit is very comprehensive. Do take a moment to review that. Okay. Couple other information that we have here. We also have life insurance and accidental death benefit. Again, this is why it's important to make sure you keep your beneficiaries up to date. So, life insurance in the event that you were to pass away, your named beneficiary, if you have one beneficiary, could be entitled up to $150,000. If you have multiple beneficiaries, depending on what percentage you put, each person would get, they technically could split the 150,000. There's also life insurance for your spouse and your children. But again, if you don't inform TBIS of your spouse or your child, and should one of them pass away and you never added them to the benefit plan, then you would not be entitled to that life insurance payable by on behalf of the death of a spouse or a child. Okay, so it's important, again, keep your information up to date. Accidental death insurance, what that means is that, let's say you die as a result of an accident, then your beneficiary would get $150,000 payable from the accidental death portion. So technically, what this means is if you have one beneficiary, and should you pass away as a result of an accident, is that that one beneficiary could be entitled to up to $300,000. Okay, so this is why it's important, again, if something were to happen to you, who's your beneficiary? And if you have only one beneficiary, they could potentially get $300,000. Okay. So again, it's important. And if you want to check to see who your beneficiaries are, yeah, again, you can log into mytbis.com. You view the My Profile tab, and the beneficiary information will be posted there. Okay. We also have critical illness insurance. So in the event that um, you would ever be faced with one of the illnesses shown on the screen here, you may be eligible for up to $25,000 benefit. Okay, it's called the critical illness benefit. In the event that you're faced with a disability, so your doctor says you're unable to go to work for whatever reason, and it's for an extended period greater than at least a week, then at that point, it's important that, again, as I said earlier in the call, that you notify the Union Hall dispatch, contact the Union Hall, let them know that you're unable to work and your doctor is putting you on a disability leave. This way you can get the forms. But what's important is that anytime that you're faced with an illness and or you get hurt at work, it's important that first you see a medical doctor, then you contact the Union Hall dispatch at the phone number shown here, 416-510-3530, and you request a disability package. Okay. Why is it important to apply for your disability package? Because depending on the extent of your leave, right? If you're on disability and you go on short term, right, you could be getting up to $750, $750 per week for up to 26 weeks. But if you continue to go on disability longer than 26 weeks, then you would be eligible for long-term disability, which pays up to $3,400 per month. But what's important to note here as well is that not only are you collecting disability for short term, but then you would go on long term, is that once you go on long term, you still continue to have your 353 benefits. You and your family would have access still to your medical benefits, your dental benefits, but then at the same time, the union is contributing to your pension, the pension plan for you once you go on long-term disability. Okay. One thing to note here is that if you are involved in a motor accident, a motor vehicle accident, that the disability benefit is not payable in the events of motor vehicle accidents, right? So it's important that you take the time to review your car insurance, your auto insurance policy to make sure that you are eligible for income replacement in the event of a car accident, okay? So any portion of your medical claims or any disability related to the motor vehicle accident are not payable by our benefit plan. That would be payable by your insurance carrier, your automobile insurance carrier, as long as you have coverage. Okay. So a couple of things here I want to note, and just to remind everybody, this is the most important piece. One of the most important pieces in this presentation is that in the event that you're unable to work because you're sick, you get injured at work, you get injured at home, you have a disability. If you're unable to work, it's important that you let dispatch know, along with if you or get laid off from work as well. You let dispatch know, because as you've seen, is that if you, for an example that we'll use again, is if you say you have a heart attack, you survive the heart attack and you're unable to go to work, if you don't notify the Union Hall dispatch, then you would never get your disability application form. You would not receive the forms for critical illness, where you would get up to $25,000. You wouldn't get your disability benefits. And the end result is that if you go beyond the time period that you're eligible to apply, then you would miss out on all these benefits. And at the end of the day, you would fall out of benefits and no longer have coverage. Okay, so it's very, very important that you keep dispatch up to date. Okay. Again, all this information, presentation, all this details that are provided here is available on mytbis.com. Do use your drug card information to create your profile. Just go to mytbis.com. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see a register here. Click that. Do take the time to register for MyTBIS. Once you created your mytbis.com profile, please create your Canada Life profile by visiting the My Canada Life at Work site. Just click on the link there in the presentation, and it'll take you to the Canada Life website. And from there, you can create your profile. Again, you'll need your drug card. Once you create your Canada Life profile, this is where you can submit claims. And then you can set up your direct deposit information. So if you pay for a claim out of pocket, Canada Life will reimburse you directly right to your bank account. Same thing, you on the Canada Life website, that's where you can review your RSP information, and you can review the various benefits that are available to you, and submit claims on there as well, and see how much you could be potentially reimbursed on the various different plans, benefits that are available. Yeah. Here again is the a link to the website again. Here's the Canada Life dedicated IBEW 353 phone number. Here's a snapshot of the My TBIS homepage, right? So from here you can see there's a My Profile, My Pension tab, the My Documents, that's where it shows your important information. Do take time to log in there. Here's a couple other benefits that we have. One important benefit that we have is called the Members Assistance Program, that's available through TELUS Health. Basically, it is a resource library, so it's a confidential 24/7 service that's available to members and their family. If you are in search of information, if you're looking for legal counseling, if you're looking for personal counseling, if you're looking for legal advice, even as simple as you're trying to find a daycare or resources for your elderly parents, you can contact TELUS Health at the phone number that's shown, or visit the website. And what they would do is they would take the information questions down that you're and the information that you're looking for, and they would do the research on their end and provide you with the resources that are out there, contact information of where you can call. Okay, it's something as simple as you want to do your power of attorney, set up your will, but you don't have a lawyer for that. You contact TELUS Health, and what they would do is you would give them where you live, and they would try to locate a lawyer in your area that's been reviewed by TELUS Health, and that you can go visit them and get your power of attorney and will complete it. Another benefit that's available to you is something called Teledoc. Think of this service provider as a second medical opinion. So the example we like to use is, let's say your doctor tells you that you have to have a knee surgery, but you don't want to have a knee surgery, or you're not sure if that's the best procedure needed in this situation. So basically, you can contact Teledoc, and what they would do is they would take your medical file from your doctor, review your doctor's diagnosis and the treatment plan, or the whatever the recommendation is, and then they would either confirm that, or they would make another recommendation. So think of it again, like I said, it's a second medical opinion. Another benefit available through Teledoc, or I should say, why another reason a lot of people are contacting Teledoc is if you're in need of a family doctor or a family specialist, the medical specialist, do contact Teledoc at this phone number that's reflected at 1-877 419 2378, and tell them that you're in search of a family doctor or a medical specialist, and they will do their best to try to assist you in finding a doctor or specialist that is taking on new patients. And another service that's available through Teledoc is the mental health navigator. So if you know anyone or yourself or your family member that are having mental wellness difficulties, and are trying to find different services that are available that are related to mental wellness, do give them a call and they can help guide you. So simple as you're trying to find a psychologist, or you're trying to find services out there to help with different wellness programs, etc. Do give them a call and they can help you. And this service, Teledoc, is available to you, your the members, as well as your own parents and your in-laws. Okay, so this service is extended to not only the member and your spouse and children, but as well as your parents and your in-laws. So if you have elderly parents out there that are looking for a new family doctor specialist, do give a call to Teledoc. Okay. So as we start to end and near this presentation, again, I want to just again stress, remind everybody that it's important to keep the IBEW Union Hall Dispatch up to date on your employment status to ensure that your benefits remain in force, and that anything that you're eligible for, you qualify and you get those benefits and you get the appropriate forms. As I said earlier in the call, it goes beyond just being laid off, or if you want to take a leave of absence. It's important, if you get sick, see a doctor right away as soon as possible, and then let dispatch know and apply for the benefits that you may be eligible for, such as the disability and critical illness. As always, do keep up to date, and keep in touch with the TBIS and the IBEW Local 353, right? Not only, do take the time to register for My TBIS, and the Canada Life website, but and take the time to review the information that's posted there. And then on a go forward basis, do log in, review your quarterly contribution statements when you have time, take a look at your pension statement. Do keep your email address up to date and your mailing address up to date with TBIS. We do send out important information. There's an annual special call meeting. There are monthly meetings that we recommend that members do take the time to attend. If you have any concerns, or if you want to make an opinion or hear what's going on in the union, or any changes that are coming, it's important to review these newsletters that are issued by TBIS and the IBW Local 353, and at the same time do attend a monthly IBW Local 353 meeting, or the annual special call meeting. Again, all this information is available online and in the various newsletters that are sent out by email and posted online. And many times these newsletters are also mailed out physically to your home address that's on file. And when times come and when they were sent out, do take the time to fill out member surveys that are sent out, satisfaction surveys. Let us know your opinions. And as always, at any time, do give us a call. Don't hesitate to call us. If you're not sure where to get the answer from, or what is it, where to turn to for certain resources or information, do take the time and do reach out to us, or the Union Hall if you'd like. As we near the end of this presentation, do take the time to take a snapshot of the various QR codes that are available here, so that you can easily access the various sites, um, or the service providers. Do take the moment. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a call here, or the team a call here at TBIS. Anytime you have any questions or anything like that, we're more than happy to connect with you. You can give us a call at the phone number 416-637-6789, or you can always email us at members at tbis.com. Again, thank you for participating in today's webinar. And take care of yourself. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help, and we're here to assist you and protect you into the future. Take care, and thank you again for participating in today the webinar. Thank you.